up, YouTube? You know what time it is. MightyFan time. And this video is a response to the challenge that was issued by A-Rock. A great challenge by you, A-Rock. Big shout out to you for the challenge. The challenge is what A-Rock calls a guilty pleasure challenge. It's like if you have a jersey or jerseys in your collection that you weren't too sure if you would film on YouTube or not, put it out there on your channel, share them and, tell the reason why. For me, I'm not just going to go with the jersey, I'm going to go with the team itself. Because we all know I'm a big Philadelphia sports fan, and that will never change. See, I'm wearing my Sixers. I got my red, white, and blue for 4th of July. I got my patriotic Sixers hat, and I got my Dr. J jersey. So there you go, red, white, and blue. But, the Phillies are my favorite baseball team, but I do have another team in baseball that's a bit of a guilty pleasure team of mine. And just by me saying that much, you guys probably know what team it is. And yes, I know, Red Sox Nation, I apologize, but it is the New York Yankees. I do have a lot of respect for Red Sox, though. See, I'm not that staunch Yankee fan, I just hate the Red Sox. So, I'm a Phillies fan. So, the only team in professional sports I can probably say with absolute certainty that I just have a hatred for is the Dallas Cowboys. But, I'm a big Eagles fan, so hey, that's oil and water right there. Dallas and the Eagles. So, the only team I think I've ever said that I just have that fervor about. But, all the Dallas fans watching this, we're going to get you this shit. We're going to win. Anyhow, but the New York Yankees have always been my favorite American League team. Although I will say this with a caveat. I was, of course, because the Phillies are in my heart, I was rooting for the Phillies last year in the World Series. If anyone ever asked me, I got a lot of heat for this last year. Believe me, a lot of people who know me that know that the Yankees are my American League team, came out, so who you rooting for, huh? Who you rooting for? The Phillies. Of course the Phillies. I didn't buy any Yankee, World Series merchandise from last year. I have a few of the stuff from some of their other championships, but not last year, because they beat the Phillies. No. Not last year. But no, I guess I've just always liked them. I mean, I remember when I was younger, I used to collect baseball cards, and really more basketball cards more than anything else. But I had some baseball cards, and I just remember the Don Mattingly cards for whatever reason. And I liked Don Mattingly, and he was like my first favorite Yankee. And of course, he retired in '95, and then they won in '96, so he retired a year too soon. But you know what? I just always liked them. And the Yankees weren't very good back in the day. I mean, I remember they just weren't very good. But I always liked, yes, there was a time, people, that the Yankees were not good. Just in case people, people sometimes forget that. For like the whole 80s, they were just bad. And a good part of the the early 90s. But anyhow, that being said, I always liked that logo. The Uncle Sam hat with baseball bat. I always thought that was a classic logo. I used to have like some logos of the baseball team, like stickers on my wall. The stickers used to come in packs of baseball cards. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. But I had a bunch of them on my wall in my room, and one of them was the Yankee one. I always just liked that logo, so maybe because I'm a patriotic guy, I don't know. But, of course, the Phillies logo I always remember. But, yeah, I always liked the Yankees. And so my guilty pleasure jerseys also, and I will say this, of course, it is the Yankees. And you guys saw when I got the Thurman Munson, Mitchell and Ness jersey during last year's, this past year, I should say, this past February Super Bowl sale at Mitchell and Ness. The first Mitchell and Ness Yankee jersey that I ever had in my collection. But I did have some prior to that. Now, I say that these are guilty pleasure jerseys because they're some of the classic Yankee jerseys. Like, in this case, we got Road Gray Joe DiMaggio jersey. Of course, Mr. Hit Street. But they're not flannel. And I know Tint's the king of the flannel jerseys, and he can tell you that back in the day, all teams of baseball, of course, but of course the Yankees too, were the flannel jerseys. Well, when I got these jerseys done years ago, it was really when I just started out in the throwback jersey collecting game. I didn't really know too much. I didn't know about the flannel baseball jerseys. I'm sorry, I didn't. I learned about them more as I went to the Mitchell and Ness store and stuff like that, and I saw them there, and I learned a little more about it. But I got these jerseys done, years ago, before I really had a whole lot of knowledge about the old baseball jerseys. And so yeah, this is the reason why it's a guilty pleasure jersey of mine. I do like these jerseys. I still wear them. I just was debating whether I should ever show them in my videos because they're not, they're not flannel, even though they should be. If it makes any sense. I'm sorry. It's kind of hard for me to explain it, but I got the number kits for these jerseys years ago off eBay, and I took these jerseys. I got 2 of them from a local store for like $20 each, like plain Yankee jerseys. This one that I'm holding up here is the oldest Yankee jersey that I ever owned. And I got this like years ago, a blank road gray Yankee jersey, and I got the number kits off eBay, and I took them to a tailor, and they professionally stitched it on the back of these 3 jerseys. So here we go again. This is the road gray Joe DiMaggio, New York Yankee jersey, and then the other 2 are the home whites, some of the real classic jerseys in baseball history, because they pretty much never changed. But the whole home pinstripe jerseys. But of course, you guys should know that, Mickey Mantle. And the last one, believe me, even if you're not a baseball fan, you know of this guy. The home white, number 3, Babe Ruth. And again, they're guilty pleasure jerseys of mine because even though they're classic Yankee players, they're not that classic flannel jersey that you see at Mitchell & Ness sell. But you have to give me this much. At least I knew enough not to put the name on the back. Because sometimes I see those replica, and these are replica too, but the Majestic or whatever, and then they have like for Babe Ruth, they have the 3 and the Ruth on the back. They never wore their name on the back, So you gotta give me that much. At least I never put the player's name on the back of the jersey. But as I got older, I just learned a lot about the history of the Yankees and all the great players that played there, like Babe Ruth, and I just respected them even more. So there you go. My guilty pleasure team and my guilty pleasure jerseys, the New York Yankee classic player jerseys, just not that classic flannel. I do hope to, though, at some point pick up a Mitchell & Ness flannel Yankee jersey. I'd like to get either a Lou Gehrig or a Yogi Berra, or maybe a Mantle. I kind of don't want to get the players that I already have. I just don't want to get the duplicate, so I'm thinking of other players. I'd like to get a Lou Gehrig. I mean, the old Iron Horse, one of the great all-time players in the history of baseball, not just the Yankees. So maybe someday I'll grab a Lou Gehrig jersey, either home or away, flannel. But I will say this: whenever I start going after the flannel baseball throwbacks from Mitchell & Ness, the first one I'll ever get will be a Phillies. I just don't know who. Maybe Robin Roberts, maybe Rich Ashburn, maybe Klein or Fox, but it will be a Phillies jersey first. And then after that, I'll kind of sort it out. Someday I'd like to get like a Ted Williams. There you go, Red Sox Nation. Or Ernie Banks, of course, Lou Gehrig. So there's a couple I have in mind of getting at some point down the road, but the first one I ever get will be a Phillies jersey. So there you go. It has to be a Phillies jersey. But yeah, those are my guilty pleasure jerseys. I'm sorry if I offended Red Sox Nation with this video. It's not really my intent, but I have one more thing I wanted to share with you guys. Remember I told you my first favorite Yankee was Donnie Baseball? Well, I don't have his jersey, although I still have his blank road gray Yankee jersey that I'm going to turn into a Don Mattingly at some point. But I do have this. This isn't a jersey, but it's a sweatshirt. It's got the Yankees there. It's got the NY in the sleeve. And there it is. Mattingly 23 on the back. The only Don Mattingly kind of jersey of sorts that I have in the collection. This is a Cooperstown collection shirt made by, Nike. They made these some years back. And I got this like at some outlet store real cheap. But I just like because it has a Don Mattingly 23 on the back. So there you go. But like I said, at some point I'd like to get my blank road gray Yankee jersey turned into a Mattingly. I'll get his number kit off eBay and have that stitched on. And then I'll have his jersey. But he didn't wear the flannel, so it's okay. I can get the newer style jerseys. challenge there, A-Rock. Again, I hope I didn't offend Red Sox Nation. I'm sorry if I did. Sorry to pimp you guys, MDiddy. Yeah. But, but yeah, that is my guilty pleasure team and my guilty pleasure jerseys. So, this is MightyFan saying peace. I'll see you all in the next video. Alright, bye. Oh, and Red Sox Nation, don't unsubscribe to me. Because I am a Phillies fan first. Just remember that. Alright, I'll see you.